Alright, welcome back, you shmuppy fans. It's time to look at I guess you can kind of call it a classic shooter for the Neo Geo. But even though it's a classic, in a sense for the Neo Geo, it does fall short of fighters such as Pulsar and Blazing Star. I mean, it's not a horrible game by no means, but I don't think it's in their league. And the reason why is that true, there's strategy to this game, but it doesn't have the depth or the feel of those games or the quality of those games. So, I mean, okay, unless you're like a huge fan of R-Type, of course those games are going to appeal a little bit more to you. But this game keeps it very simple. And what I mean by simple, it's shoot and then bomb. And of course there's power-ups and all sorts of shit you collect along the way. But there's not much more really to it. The only thing that really separates this game in a lot of ways is kind of the characters. But I'll get into that a little bit. Alright, so like I said, this game is actually made by, I believe it's Video Systems. Yeah, pretty much. And I think it's rated at like 102 megs. And it came out like in 1994. And I heard in Japan it's very well known as Sonic Wings. Now, I believe the first Sonic Wings, I think the only port went to the Super Nintendo, maybe? I could be mistaken on this. But this game came out actually to Neo Geo, AES, MVS, and CD. So, yeah. Alright then, let's get into it. I'll set to easy. What the hell's the difference? I must have my console set to AS mode. Alright, you'll see here. Here's your main shot. B, your special weapon. There you go. That's about it. Now, you got a unique cast of characters, I'll give it that. The fuck, I'll go for a dolphin. What the hell? They're delicious tasting. Spanky. And the thing is, it's unique in a sense because of the pilots. It has that kind of World War II type of look and feel to it. Now, considering it's kind of like quirky, it's weird because the graphics on here, while they're pretty decent, to me, they don't fit kind of like the tone of the game. Because for a game that's supposedly very World War set type of serious tone to it, to have a dolphin, a little girl, and things of that nature, kind of it's like awkward. I'm not saying it's necessarily a bad thing, but if you look at the graphics, the graphics look pretty muted and dull. And I expect for a game that has that type of, fuck, I got shot, that type of, cast of characters to be, bright, colorful. I'm not saying necessarily like a cotton game, or, things of that nature, but I expect, to not be a serious-looking game, and I think it's trying to be too many things, and, while it's not a bad game, but it just doesn't really separate itself from the rest of the pack. Now, it does play very well. The control is pretty fluid, and like I said, the graphics are decent, they just don't match for what I feel the game really should be. And it's two-player simultaneous, which is awesome, but it's an arcade game. The thing is that I believe that there's 10 levels in here, if I'm not mistaken. And you got a lot of quirky bosses, like I think one of the bosses is like a gorilla, and a couple other things. Now, you do have some unique stages like this one and all. Like I said, there's some pretty cool elements to the game. The sound and all, yeah, it doesn't really stand out. The music and the sound really don't. I mean, explosions are cool and things of that nature, but there's nothing in here where the tunes are really a must listen to. They don't hurt the ears, but they don't really add anything to the game, to be honest with you. The thing is that the one thing cool aspect of it is, like I said, I think it really is a really fun to play game. But like I mentioned, Blazing Star, Polestar, those games are kind of like in a league of their own. And not because that they resemble R-Type or trying to be kind of like spiritual successors to R-Type, is that they add a bit more strategy and a bit more of diversity, believe it or not, in the gameplay. Whereas this here, just shoot, bomb, and that's about the extent of the game, really, to be honest with you. Now, it's not necessarily a bad thing, but then it fits into the category of, okay, I've seen it, heard it all before. Where does it leave you? So that's, I think, where this problem lies with the game and all. So it kind of makes it, I wouldn't say necessarily an average shooter, but it doesn't put it among the top contenders of, or the league of the Polestars, the Blazing Stars, etc. So that's the only thing I'm coming from. Now, like I said, I'm pretty sure you can find this game. Shit, I'm dying. The thing is, I'm pretty sure you can find this game really cheap. I don't know necessarily how much for the CD, because I know a lot of games have gone up in price and all, in the past few years. But this used to be kind of like one of those budget type of titles and all, where you could pick it up for maybe $25, $30, something of that nature. It was nothing so unreasonable. And whether it's the American copy or the Japanese copy, it really didn't matter. But is it a recommendation? Yeah, because the thing is that it takes you back to an era of real old school, shooting games where, you could enjoy the simplisticness of the game. But if you're looking for, that cave shooter or that, that wow factor in a game or that Ikaruga, you better look elsewhere, because it's not going to fulfill any of those type of, hopes and dreams that you may have towards this game. It is what it is. It's a simplistic shooter where, it just go, and that's basically it. And I'm not saying there's not any strategy, but like I said, it's not that much of an intensity to the game and all. Okay, I'm going to leave you with a bit more of gameplay. Like I said, decide for yourself, check it out. And like I said, it's not a bad game, but if you can get it a budget title, especially for the Neo CD, or unless you're like a hardcore shooter fan, then you know what, check it out for the MVS, because I'm pretty sure you can find it reasonable. I would say sometimes you can find anywhere from $30 to $50. If you're paying any more from that, then you're probably getting gagged on the price. But it's definitely worth checking out, and yeah, and I believe you'll enjoy it. But like I said, don't expect anything radical or anything that's going to change your life. So, and that's basically it. Alright then, as you can see, there's some nice effects with the backgrounds that you can interact with, such as blowing the shit out of that Ferris wheel. So, yeah. Alright then, I'm out.